no matter what, we've got a replay link, so you can share with anyone on the team who wasn't able to be here live. Okay, so I am going to make sure we're recording. I'm gonna mute all of the background noise just so that we can get started. As I'm going through, I will go ahead and open up the floor to questions just so that we can make sure that we touch on everything that you want covered. But stay tuned for that. For now, I'm gonna go ahead and mute the lines. Okay, I may jump out of the presentation here and there just to make sure those are muted, but here's what I want to do tonight. Well, no. How about I introduce myself? I'm a little scattered tonight. Well, okay, so my name is Lisa Swain, and I'm the Director of Customer Experience here at TEAMZY. I want you to consider me your resource, okay? If you get nothing else out of tonight's call, I want you to remember my name, Jay, and I want you to get my contact information. So if nothing else, you know that you can pick up the phone and call someone if you're experiencing a specific challenge or if you feel like you just need a little help, okay? So stay tuned. I will share that direct contact information with you. Here's what I've got planned for this evening. I want to start, we're going to jump right into TEAMZY, okay? We're going to start by talking setup because I know that can be the most challenging portion, okay? And even though setup may not be done all at once, you might be thinking, you know, what happens when I import contacts down the road? We're going to cover some different topics. I'll give you some tips and tricks for really navigating that painlessly, okay? Because I know it can be scary. People think, I've got to transition all of my data over. Am I going to know where to find it? How do I, you know, confidently navigate the system? You will have all of those answers and more at the end of tonight's call, okay? So we're going to start with setup. Then we're going to get into talking about your power hours with TEAMZY, because that's the real beauty of having a tool like this system, where you can sort of lean on it to no longer have to scrub lists. No more having to figure out where you left off last with people eating up your most valuable commodity, okay, which is your time. So we're going to talk to you, and I'm going to kind of highlight for you the different features in TEAMZY that you should focus on during your power hour. Some people just, you know, miss some things that they're thinking, you know, oh, that could have really been a game changer for me. So stay tuned, and I'll go over those different features that you should focus on. Last, but certainly not least, we're going to talk follow-ups, okay? But following up like a pro, so that you're not feeling like you have to manage an external calendar and then, you know, an app and Post-it notes and your own Excel spreadsheet. You know who you are, okay? The truth is, tools like this didn't exist before. So you were having to reinvent the wheel, but you don't have to do that anymore. So I'm going to show you how all of that lives beautifully in one system, how that you can sort of navigate the system without having to feel like you're going to rip your own hair out. So stick with me and we'll get through all of that, okay? After we talk about follow-ups, I'm going to open up the floor to questions. So go ahead and jot things down as I'm chatting. If I come across something that you want me to go back and touch on again, or if you've got a specific question, jot that down and we will come back to it, okay? After we cover all that, I'll share my contact information with you, and then we'll jump back into the system and I'll share some bonus features if we've got the time, okay? So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you. Let's do this. Okay, so you should be looking at my TEAMZY dashboard now. One thing I want to say here before we move on any further, okay? If you are not taking advantage of the free 30-day trial, please go out and do that next, okay? The best way to really know if the system is right for you is to take advantage of that completely free 30 days, no credit card necessary. You get to just step into the system and build the habit for some of us who, you know, maybe you were a pen and paper kind of gal. Or you're thinking, oh, well, I've got my beautiful spreadsheet. Why would I change? You know, the only way to know if it will work for your dynamic, if it'll make you a little more effective, a little more efficient in your day, is to try it, okay? Really give into the system for 30 days. You will build up that habit and it will become like muscle memory. This system will be a tool that you will use for just like any other tool that you use. Okay, so once you've got your free 30-day trial out of the way, setup is first, okay? So even if you've logged into the system, if you're kind of beyond setup, we're going to go through some of those initial setup guidelines, and then we're going to talk about importing in the future if you decide to import more contacts. Okay, to access your setup wizard in TEAMZY, you're going to go to the upper right-hand corner, got a little wheel, and you're going to come down to setup wizard. Okay, so once you launch the setup wizard, it's 3 quick steps. So deep breath with me, okay? I'm going to take you through each. Step 1. In TEAMZY, you're actually going to create an income goal because our system is so much more than just a tracking app, okay? TEAMZY is a lead generation system, Basically, that's just a system that initiates inquiry or interest into the products and services that you offer on a daily basis. So TEAMZY is designed for you to sort of keep your eyes on the prize. Am I constantly bringing in new people, introducing new individuals to the products and the services that we offer? As a Beachbody coach, that's the name of the game. You have to constantly be evolving or growing your team in order to build your business and to generate more income. So we're going to start our journey by creating an income goal. When you're setting an income goal in TEAMZY, this is not just a pretty placeholder, okay? This is not just going to be something that you glance over at from time to time. In TEAMZY, we are going to use this 12-month income goal to calculate the number of highly productive activities you need to do every day in order to keep on track with your overall goal on an annual basis. So we are going to sort of cut out the middleman. You're not going to have to do any of the number crunching on a day-to-day basis. You're not going to have to stop to consider who should I call and when at the beginning of your power hour every day. That's going to be happening on the back end. And we'll talk about how that comes full circle in a second. Okay, so we're setting our income goal to start. But again, it's not just a placeholder, so be decisive here. What do I really want to make at the end of that you're going to reach for when you're having a challenging day or you're experiencing a difficult moment even, and you need a bit of a reminder, sometimes in your own voice, of why you're doing this to begin with. Why did I get into this crazy business? Here is my reminder. Here is my armor when I go out into the world and I'm met with objections, outright rejections, days where you're feeling like I can't take any more. This will be a reminder of why you should come back for seconds, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and create a powerful why statement in TEAMZY. If you've never done it before, not to worry, our system's gonna walk you through it. We've got a really great exercise that kind of pulls it out of you little by little. All right, so we're gonna create that powerful why statement. Step 3, we're going to import our contacts into TEAMZY. So here's the meat of setup, okay? I'm gonna have a couple of tips, different things that you can do to sort of stack the odds in your favor when you're setting up the system. So we'll get into importing contacts in a moment. Come along with me. All right, step 1 in the setup wizard, we're going to set our income goal. So you're just gonna consider your next 12 months of growth. If you're already on track to do, to meet your goals so far, maybe it's time to consider your stretch goals. Get ambitious, challenge yourself a little bit. This allows you to get really intentional about what you want to do in your business over the next 12 months. So let's say I want to make $100,000. This number, $100,000, will actually be used, okay? It's going to be calculated in with our algorithm to pump out the number of activities you need to do every day, every week, every month in order to stay on track with your overall goal. Because the fact of the matter is, anytime you want to take on any huge task, you have to do it one step at a time, one bite at a time, right? How many of you have heard the phrase, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, that's how. I know. Not the best phrase, but the facts are there were no elephants harmed in the making of that phrase. So we're gonna go ahead and put in our initial goal here. TEAMZY is gonna break this down for us into bite-sized chunks. So let's say I'm satisfied with my $100,000 goal. I'm going to hit continue, and the system applies the initial breakdown. So it lets me know, based on $100,000, I need to connect 2,899 times over the next 12 months. Okay, for some of us, this initial number may seem really large because our goal is ambitious or our goal is relatively large. I want you to stop for a minute. Consider how many people you already connect with on a daily basis. Got that number? Great. Now figure it on a weekly basis. Now monthly, now yearly. That number would be staggering to you. You're simply taking an intentional approach to your business here. You're setting your eyes on the prize. This is actually where I want to go, from A to B. Now TEAMZY is going to outline for you the best path for you to get there, okay? Let's take a look. All right, once I hit continue, TEAMZY is now going to apply the overall breakdown. It lets me know, based on my goal of $100,000 and 2,899 connections over a year, that's more like 6 connections to my prospects every day, 4 to my customers, and 3 to my coaches. Ah, well, that's way more feasible. Okay, now we're talking. I want you to simply give in to the system. It may feel like it's overwhelming at that initial number. Come along with us, apply the overall breakdown. Now that the system has given you a recommendation, you can do a couple of things here. If you find yourself looking at the recommended goals suggested by TEAMZY and you're thinking, well, Jay, I do that before breakfast, you're fantastic. You know who you are. You're awesome. Keep up the great work, okay? You can get in here and get ambitious. You can push yourself a little further in any of these given groups. If you're thinking, oh, you know what, I want to apply a little more focus to my prospects just so I can kind of inch a little bit closer to my goals. I can come in here and say, you know what, I want to do 10 prospect connections as opposed to the 6 because I just want to push myself a little further. The same can be said for any of our brand new coaches. Welcome! Fantastic. If you're thinking to yourself, Jay, I don't have customers yet, or I don't have coaches yet, not to worry, that is a temporary status, okay? So what you're gonna do in that case is you want to apply all of your focus then to your prospect pool. Because if you spend more time on your prospects, you're gonna convert them in greater frequency to customers and ultimately to coaches. So what I would do in this case, if I'm brand new to the business and TEAMZY suggested 6 prospect connections, 4 customer and 3 coaches, I would take the 4 from here, make this a 0, take the 3 from here, make this a 0, and then I'm gonna move the remaining 7 over to my prospect section. So I'll make this 13 total. So I'm keeping my sights on the overall connection goal that was recommended by TEAMZY, but I'm now applying my dynamic, okay? Because I know that no 2 of you are at the same exact place in this business. You don't attack the business in the same way. So consider here that you can sort of affect change on your own goals. You can customize it based on where you are right now. So let's say I'm accepting the recommended. I'm gonna do 6, 4, and 3. Okay. In addition to connection goals for customers, prospects, and coaches every day, TEAMZY is also going to set goals for daily invites and daily additions. So I'm going to talk to you about each of these. So daily invites. Daily invites are going to be those calls to action, okay? Anytime I invite someone to join me for my upcoming challenge group, to join me for an upcoming event, to try a product, anything that calls that person to take action. So TEAMZY knows that those types of activities get you a little bit closer to your goal because people are going to take action and actually make movement of some kind, whether they become a customer or they choose to get involved and buy the challenge pack, whatever the deal is, okay? So you can decide, all right, 3 invites per day seems reasonable, or you know what, as a team, we're trying to send 25 invites a week. You can actually customize this to correspond with your team goals so that it's working alongside you. All right, daily additions or daily adds. This is going to be how many new people have you introduced to your database? Have you accepted any new friend requests through social media? Have you met anyone new face-to-face and belly-to-belly out in the real world? You would always get in the habit of adding them into your database so that you can start to build on that relationship consistently. And I'll show you how TEAMZY will help you do that in a second. So we're accepting the recommended goals. I'm hitting continue, and we are on to the second step in the setup process, which is finding that powerful why statement. Okay, if you wanted to watch the video on this page, you can watch any of the videos during your setup process. Basically takes you through what I'm talking about live. So my powerful why is my armor. It's my reminder to myself at the end of a difficult day when I'm thinking I'm gonna rip all my hair out. Why would I do this again tomorrow? It allows me to over at a message in my own voice that reminds me why I got in this business to begin with. So I'll hit continue here, and TEAMZY is going to allow me to actually create that powerful why statement. So if you've never done it before, basically give in to the system. Answer one question at a time. When I first started, this probably the element of coaching and personal development that I struggled with. This idea that it had to start with me. Guys, anytime you want to make a large change, okay, especially when it's outward facing, business, family, friends, it has to start internal. You have to start with the self-talk, with the self-influences, because that is all too often what will dictate how we behave openly or outwardly. So your powerful why statement is a step in that direction, okay? Discussing or sort of consciously deciding I'm going to remind myself why I got into this business in a positive way, okay? So for me in the beginning, I answered these questions one at a time because I was like, why am I doing this? This seems like this California fruits and nuts stuff. The guys on the team call me pragmatic. I'm one of those gals that I love tech. You tell me what you want and I'm gonna give it to you. I'm a deliver kind of girl. So this seemed a little fluffy for me. But then I started to really just let it work on me. Why did I become a coach? In the beginning, I was hoping to make an extra $200-300 a month. What did I hope to accomplish by doing that? A savings. In the beginning, for me, it wasn't overly deep. Everyone is at a different place in this business, but this needs to be a very real response. It needs to be your voice. So that was me answering. Why is that important to me? Well, I married a Marine straight out of college, and we were looking at a military income. I thought financial freedom, a community of my own. Little by little, my powerful why started to take shape. Little by little, it started to touch that part of me that it needed to. So when you're going through this exercise, my one tip is that if you're feeling skeptical, you're wondering, why am I doing this? Just give in, okay? Just answer each question, and by the time you get to the end, you may be very surprised. So if you're thinking, Jay, I went through all the steps, entered all of my information, but my powerful why is not appearing in my TEAMZY. What's going on here is more than likely your powerful why wasn't saved in this final field here. So what you'll want to do is basically copy and paste the answers to the fields above in that paragraph. If you're a little more creative and you're thinking, you know, oh, maybe I'll just take the answers and create something that sounds beautiful and it'll resonate with me, I just wasn't that gal. So to start, I copied and pasted my answers, and either way, it was a resounding message to me every day. So give in to the powerful why, and that's how you'll fill that in. When you are all set with your powerful why statement, you'll hit continue, and we are on to the meat of the setup process, which is importing those contacts. So I've got a couple tips here. If you've got a pen and paper, I recommend that you grab that now so that you can just jot down these tips. We're going to start by talking about the order in which you should import your contacts into TEAMZY. Okay? So we're going to start with the order in which you should import your contacts into TEAMZY. I'm going to, before I give you the actual order, I'm going to say if you've already imported your contacts, if you did it not in the order I'm about to give you, it's okay. We can walk it back, or I can just show you how to work around it so that you don't have to wipe out everything that you've done. Either way, not to worry, I can help. Okay, so the order in which you should import to TEAMZY, I want you to start with your Beachbody coaches and customers, okay? So you want to start with your Beachbody back office customers and coaches. This video here will walk you through exporting those contacts from Beachbody back office and importing them into TEAMZY. Okay, after we've got your customers and your coaches imported, I want you to go ahead and bring in any of those beautiful custom spreadsheets that you may have created, okay? If you've got mailing lists, if you've done event follow-up lists, whatever the deal is, you can bring those into TEAMZY. Excuse me. You can bring those into TEAMZY, and the system will allow you to batch them or tag them in the system so that you'll be able to know, okay, this is a list of an event follow-up, or this is a list of customers, a list of coaches, okay? So we're starting customers and coaches from our Beachbody back office. Then we're going to go over to those custom spreadsheets that we may have created. Once you brought in your custom spreadsheets, go ahead and bring in your email services, Gmail, Outlook, 365, whatever you're using for email. It more than likely collects your contact information, and it's creating an address book for you. You can export those details. If you need specific instructions, reach out to me. Guys, I've been tasked with and working with teams that have created and managed and supported online systems like this for almost 10 years now. So if there's a system out there, I'm pretty sure I can help you navigate it. All right, so once you've got your email services in the system, then I want you to take a look at your LinkedIn connections specifically. LinkedIn. Okay, so the reason that I recommend LinkedIn specifically is because LinkedIn allows you to collect great information, physical addresses, email addresses, phone numbers. They are the only social media-ish platform that is currently allowed to do that, okay? So it's a great source of information. If you have been making connections through LinkedIn, go ahead and bring those in after your email services. So we've got Beachbody back office customers and coaches. Then we're going custom spreadsheets. Then we're gonna bring in our email services. Then we're gonna go over to LinkedIn specifically. Once you've got all of those contacts into the system, last but not least, should be your other social media platforms. Facebook. If you're creating a manual or a manual spreadsheet of your Instagram followers, those should come in last. The reason that we make this recommendation is because Facebook and other social media platforms have to adhere to some of the highest security scrutiny out there. So they cannot simply release their users' data to you. They can't just give you email addresses and phone numbers. It's to protect you the same way it's to protect, your fellow Facebook users. They're gonna give you a list with your first and last names only. Some of you are thinking, well, why is that beneficial? It's still a really great habit to get into, to bring it into TEAMZY, because then you've got everyone in one place. You are virtually scrubbing your list down for the last time, okay? You're creating your master list that moving forward, everyone will be on so no one falls through the cracks. So definitely bring in your Facebook contacts, but make sure that's the last file that comes in. Okay, so that's the order that you should import your contacts to TEAMZY. Once you're working through your imports and exporting from some of these sources, I've got some tips. When you're exporting from your Beachbody back office, you can export in a couple different ways. You can pull your directly sponsored, or you can pull folks from your downline and your upline. Okay. Some of my team leads like to bring in people from their downline and their upline because it gives them a really good view of what everyone's working on. Some folks feel like that muddies the water of their daily follow-ups. So if you're thinking right now, I only want to focus on my people, okay, the potential for my own sales and for my own team growth, okay, then you would want to pull your list by directly sponsored only. If you want to include everyone, all the way down your downline and then up your upline, you're going to want to go ahead and pull your hierarchy report or your branch report, depending on how Beachbody is referring to it. So otherwise, you're going to bring in directly sponsored. If you don't want just your directly sponsored, then you can take a look at the branch or the hierarchy report. All right, so that's my Beachbody recommendation. My next tip is about Facebook. So let's say we followed Jay's instructions, I've imported everything else, and now I'm ready to work Facebook. But Jay, I requested my Facebook file like 3 days ago, it never came in. Okay, what's going on here is Facebook is experiencing some growing pains, okay? Even the big guys do. So what's going on here is you may be affected, you may not be affected. Some users were included, some were not. They are adjusting the way that some of us can pull our data from their system. So if you've been waiting for the email and it never came in, if it's been more than a few hours, more than a day, I want you to follow this tip. Go back to your Facebook. I'm actually going to show you in real time. So if I open up my Facebook account, for some of you this sounds familiar because you've done it before. In the upper right-hand corner, you've got your little caret icon. You can come down to settings. From here, that's going to give you your general account settings. You're going to go down to download a copy. Now, if you've already done this, if you're thinking, yep, I did this already, but it never came in by email, this time you're going to notice that instead of it saying start my archive here in green, it's actually going to say download my archive. This means when you click that button, it's automatically going to launch the download and your file is going to be on your computer. I know this can seem frustrating if you've been waiting for the file, but the fact is that Facebook just circumvented their own process and they left your file in your Facebook waiting for you. So just go back to the settings area, go over to download a copy of my data again, and you'll be able to launch it right away. If you're having any challenges outside of that, go ahead and reach out to me directly and I'd be happy to help. Okay, so that's my Facebook tip for today. Watch those videos for going through, the full process if you need to in real time. And then ultimately this third video will walk you through taking any files into TEAMZY, but I'm actually going to show you what that looks like together. So when we're ready to import our files to TEAMZY, you want to consider what format it's in, okay? What format is it in? So we've got your formats listed here on your import page, so it lets you know, okay, I can bring in my Facebook file, I can bring in a COO, or your Beachbody back office files, and I can bring in a CSV file, comma, separated value. Now, if you get off the call tonight and you're thinking, oh, I don't remember anything she said, it's okay. We've got them listed on this page, and there's a really great filter built in. So TEAMZY has a filter that will let you choose any file you want, and it will tell you yes or no, okay? So let's take a look at what you're looking for. So we'll choose file. I'll come over here and select my demo. This will run that initial screen and it lets me know, okay, you've got your green check mark, this file can be successfully uploaded. So that's what you're looking for. If you get that green check mark, that means you can proceed. If you get the little red X, the spinning wheel of death, any of the above, you can just reach out to me and I'll be able to help you from there. Okay, now I've selected my file. A couple of things that you can do before you actually move on with setup is that you can tag your files. So I talked to you earlier about the fact that you may want to batch your lists. If you're someone who's been keeping really great track of your previous challenge groups or follow-ups from events, people that are trying products, anything like that, you can bring lists in and then actually tag everybody on that list. So at one glance, you'll know, okay, that's right, that person is from my May challenge group. So if I wanted to create a tag, I'm going to click on Advanced Import Options. This is going to give me a choice to rank everyone on the file, and we'll talk about ranking in a second, or it's going to let me tag everyone on the file. So I'm going to click in this field. Oops, come on, little guy. Okay, so I'm going to click in my tag field, and I'm just going to literally start typing or customizing my tag. You can create as many or as few as you need. Okay, so they don't have to be specific in any way. I can say challenge group May. I can create a tag that says, okay, these are going to be all of the folks that participated in my challenge group for May. Or I can say, you know what, these are all of my Facebook friends or LinkedIn. So when you're consolidating all of these lists down, this is a great tip, okay? Try creating tags for the origins of that relationship. Okay, so when I open up a file, I'll know, oh, we connect through LinkedIn, or we're Facebook friends, or you know what, that person came out of the address book on my cell phone. Sometimes it's great just to be able to backtrack, to be able to see, oh, did all of that information come through, or to confirm. In any case, the tagging feature is really going to stack the odds in your favor, like I said. So feel free to create as many or as few as you need. So let's say this is a Facebook list. I can hit continue, and the system will automatically map this file. It's going to put the phone numbers with the phone numbers, email addresses in the email address field, and so on, okay? The one thing I want to say here before I move on, for any of you that are rocking out those awesome custom spreadsheets, okay, that have like 101 columns and the color coding and the whole 9 yards, it's no problem. TEAMZY may need a little bit of help though. So if you come to a screen that looks like this, TEAMZY is looking for your assistance. It wants you to help it put the information in the right place. So if you've got a column that's like follow up after first Shakeology test or something super elaborate, you may need to tell TEAMZY, okay, you know what, just put this in the notes section. So that's all you're going to do here is tell TEAMZY where you want that piece of information. For the most part, many of you will never see this screen, okay? If you do and you're thinking, I don't remember what she said, call me, I'd be happy to help. Okay, so let's say we are satisfied with the mapping. We'll hit continue. TEAMZY is gonna go ahead and pull in those contacts, and we are through to the next set of setup instructions. So I told you there were 3 quick steps. You've done the meat of setup, okay? You set up your income, you've established your powerful why, and you've imported your contacts. Now that you've got the meat done, you need to build from there. We need to start to help TEAMZY so that it can work alongside you. The beauty of a system like this is that it's going to create for you a powerful list of who you need to connect with every single day and when, based on how important they are to you. Not just anyone, not because they're a prospect, not because they've been in your database for 10 days, but because of the relationship that you've created with them. So your next step is going to be to take a hard look at every single person in your database, prospect, customer, or coach. And you're going to say, you know what? These folks are my 5-star prospects, my 5-star customers, and my 5-star coaches. I want to connect with these people in the greatest frequency because they're my rock stars. We've got a great relationship. So that's what you're telling the system with each rank, is basically what is that dynamic between you and that person. So 5 stars, someone most likely to become a coach or an existing coach already who is a rock star. Your 4 stars are going to be people who, someone likely to become a customer or coach with some nurturing, or an existing customer or coach who is a performer, okay? Someone who's so-so. Your 4 stars are going to come up for follow-up every 60 days like clockwork. So every single ranking has a default follow-up. So your 3 stars, these are going to be, you know, that lukewarm group. These are going to be individuals that you want to connect with every 90 days. 2 stars every 120 days. Your 1 stars will never come up for follow-up. So your 1-star group, I recommend that you reserve that for, you know, anyone who's icy, ice cold, that for whatever reason you're choosing to lay off of for some time. Or if it's someone in your downline who you're thinking, I don't need to connect with them because their actual coach is going to connect with them, but I'd like to keep their information on file. Make them a 1-star. You can search for them, but they're not going to muddy the daily follow-ups for you, so you can get into your progress. Okay, so when you're establishing your ranks, this little report will be available for you in the system, and I'll show you kind of how you can access that, so if you ever need the reminder. All right. One thing I want to say here before we start ranking is that everyone is going to default in TEAMZY to a 3-star ranking. So that's going to be this 90-day window. So if you're thinking, I'm about to import like 1,000 names, she wants me to rank every single person, she does, indeed. What you want to do, okay, is keep in mind that everyone's coming in at that 3-star threshold. So they're kind of in a safety net, okay? You have the opportunity now to connect with them little by little, okay? You can start chipping away at that list little by little without feeling like, okay, I've got to sit here and rank 1,000 names all at once. So let's take a look at what ranking actually looks like. Again, another video that'll take you through that process. When I am ready to rank, TEAMZY is going to put me on the easiest page to rank from, okay? So I'll be looking at a list of my all. So this is every single contact, manually added one at a time, or imported to the system. So if you're ever wondering, how many people do I have total? To the right of the word all here in the upper right-hand corner, you've got a total number of contacts. Pardon me. Okay. So you've got your total number of contacts in that upper right-hand corner if you ever wanted to know how many people are in your entire database. Now, when I'm ready to rank, I would basically just start going down this list. My tip is in the beginning that you do not allow yourself to get buried here, okay? Don't agonize, don't overwhelm yourself here in the beginning. Cherry pick your 4 and your 5 stars to start, okay? Everyone else has that safety net, so you can sort of get to them in time. But your 4 and your 5 star, like rock star folks, need greater frequency connections. So you're going to go into the system and say, you know what? Yeah, Rachel is a rock star, so I want to connect with her every 30 days. Oh yeah, Melanie's definitely a 4-star. Some are going to be easier than others, okay? And we understand that. So do it and take it in bite-sized chunks. If you've got a really large database, try and cherry pick your 4 and your 5s to start, and then you can, you know, take 23 stars every day and try and go through them. Your database is going to evolve naturally as these relationships evolve. So down the road, you're going to want to come in here and say, you know what, Becky is now definitely a 5-star. So I want to connect with her every 30 days. You're going to customize your system, and this is how you're going to do it. So I recommend take the time during setup and try and establish your 4 and your 5-star customers, prospects, and coaches. All right. So going down, doing your ranking is as simple as you saw me doing. I'm just basically going to click on the new rank, and that becomes that person's rank. If I'd like to go down, same thing. I could just click on the 1-star if I want him to be a 1-star. Let's say, you know what, Marlo actually doesn't need to be in my database for whatever reason. You know, he's the Domino's pizza guy that managed to make his way in from my cell phone. So I'll just click the little delete and I'll hit yes. Okay, so from there, it's gonna move the next person up the list, and I'm just looking at my overall database. So from here, as I'm going through the list, I may come across someone's name. Let's say I can click on Rachel here. This becomes Rachel's profile over to the right. So I can come down and I can add a tag for Rachel. I can see that she's already a Facebook friend. But you know what, I could also say, yeah, Rachel was a part of the May challenge group. Okay, so just then I've created a tag in real time, added it to Rachel's profile. I can scroll down and say, oh, you know what, Rachel sent me an email today, so I can add her email address. I'll click in the new field, add the information. When I click anywhere else on the screen, the system gives me an automatic save or a success message letting me know I can move on to the next task. When you're going through setup, add the information you have, okay? Don't agonize over it. Don't let yourself get lost in that moment. Add and move forward. So it's that simple. You scroll down to the field that you need, add the detail, and then it will automatically save for you. Talking about the fields that are available in TEAMZY. You've got first and last name, contact information, you've got social media links, and then you've got personal details, birthdays, spouses, children's names, things that just help you serve them better, create that personal connection. So go through and add that information if you have it for each contact, and then anything that falls outside of these fields. You've got a really great little notepad for yourself. So you've got details and then you've got notes. So if you click on notes, it's going to give you a blank page where you can basically make a little notation to yourself about this client. Purchasing a new home, expecting first baby, whatever the case may be. If you wanted to make a note for yourself, to you, from you, then you can do that. That's going to be your notes section. Now, one thing that I like to point out in the profiles are the social media links. This is something that people often overlook and don't utilize, but this is really a tool that will help you in your power hours specifically. So for me, the habit that I've gotten into is I actually copy and paste people's direct social media links into their profiles. Why? Because when they come up for follow-up on the dashboard, I can click on their link and it brings me to their Facebook automatically. I drop them a message and I'm back to doing whatever else I was doing. It's just one of those things that helps me cut down on time. So if you wanted to do that, here's what you would do. Let's use Eric as an example. So I am going to come over to Eric's profile, and you know what? Oh, that's right. Eric and I are Facebook friends. So what I do is I usually keep my Facebook profile side by side. I will search for Eric. It'll bring me to his overall profile. Now what you want to do is actually copy and paste the URL. So what you see here, all of it. Highlight, copy, I'll come over to TEAMZY, and now I'm going to paste that in the Facebook section. When I click anywhere, the system does the automatic save and I can move on. Now, when we go over and talk about power hours in a moment, I'm going to show you how quickly I can just click on that link and go forward. Okay, so that's how you're going to add your social media links, how you're going to add any information as you move forward. We talked about how you would delete folks. You're going to need to do some retyping, okay, because you're bringing in a list from Facebook, from LinkedIn, any of those custom lists that you may have created. So TEAMZY is going to need some help knowing who is the customer, who is a prospect. The lists that come out of your Beachbody back office, the one that is your customer list and the one that is your actual coaches list, will come in coded as customers and as coaches. So those lists you don't have to worry about. Anything else, Facebook, LinkedIn, the custom spreadsheets, you may need to come in here and say, you know what? You click on Rachel's name. Here in her profile, I've got a member type line. I can say, you know what, actually Rachel's a customer or Rachel's a coach and she is a personally sponsored coach. So that's going to be how you reestablish types. Now, here's a way to quickly do it. Above the list of names that we're looking at here, I've got rank mode. This is what displayed everyone's active rank. But if I wanted to see everyone's type, I'd come over here and click on type mode. This is going to quickly display everyone's active type so that I can go down this list and say, oh no, Christy's a customer, Carrie is a coach, you're a customer, and it'll be that easy. for some, okay? Go through, cherry pick the people that jump out at you, and then as you move forward, you know it'll be that simple to come in and reestablish someone's type. Okay, so now that you've gone through and you've successfully ranked and typed everyone in your database and you've added the information that you feel you needed to get started, you're ready to start leaning into TEAMZY for its Power Hour capabilities. So let's head over to the dashboard and see what that looks like. All right, folks, your dashboard is going to be your virtual accountability partner, okay? So even if you're thinking, I don't have a sideline partner yet, or I don't have a sideline sister, an accountability partner, whatever you want to call it, we have built one into the system for you. So if you want to go ahead and access your dashboard, that's going to let you see your daily activities, which are being outlined based on the overall income goal that you set for yourself for the year, right? So I wanted to make $100,000 for over the next 12 months. Today, I need to connect with 6 prospects. I need to connect with 4 of my customers, and I need to connect with 3 of my coaches. So TEAMZY takes those broken down goals and it brings it up for me on a daily basis. So that's how you're going to read your dashboard every day. Prospect section, I have 6 left. As I start to connect with prospects, this is going to actually fill in my progress, and I will be able to see at one glance how close or how far I am to meeting my goals for the day. So when I'm ready, I've got 6 prospects to connect with. I'm going to scroll down to what's known as my Who's Up Next section. And this is really the powerhouse, okay? So when you're getting into your Power Hour and you're wondering, who do I need to connect with? The system told me 6, but what's 6? I've got 1,000 people in my database. That is why you just took the time to go through and prioritize your database. You have told TEAMZY who's the most important to you, who you need to connect with in the greatest frequency, and now the system is going to sort of serve those people up to you every day. So when I log in, I'll be able to scroll down to what's known as my Who's Up Next section, and it's going to arrange for me a list of prospects, a list of customers, and a list of coaches every single day. It's going to arrange that list based on the priority to me. So putting my 5 stars first, then my 4 stars, then my 3 stars. But it's also arranging them considering the last point of communication. So I'm not having to manage, okay, if I connect with her today, I've got to follow up with her and then add it to my calendar. TEAMZY is going to manage all of that for you in real time. So let's take a look at what that looks like. So it looks like Becky has come up for follow-up. I know she's on this list because she is a 5-star who I have not connected with in 30 days. So if you're ever wondering, why is someone on this list again? Or, you know, you should be coming up more frequently. You want to the right of the Who's Up Next, you've got a little tiny question mark that you can click on, and it'll kind of give you that breakdown again if you need a little reminder. All right, so Becky's coming up again because she's a 5-star. I haven't connected with her in 30 days. What I would have the opportunity to do right from my dashboard is here to the right, I've got a full connect section. So TEAMZY is going to let me jot down the nature of that connection right there. So if I pick up the phone and we talk on the phone, I could basically, you know, just sort of synopsis what we talk about. But honestly, I send a lot of emails, I send a lot of Facebook messages, and I copy and paste exactly what I send to people just so that I know, you know, in a week, if they're saying to me, oh, hey, Jay, I'd love to get that information you mentioned in your last email. I can, you know, instead of tearing through everything, I can just pull up their profile and I'll have the history record. So right from the dashboard when I'm working with someone, let's say I'm working with Becky, I can access her activity tab. This will let me see if I have sent her any emails, any Facebook messages, logged any calls, any activity at all. It'll be listed here. And then I'll have access to her details. This will let me see, okay, do I have an email address, a phone number? Okay, great. It looks like she and I are Facebook friends. So I can send Becky a Facebook message. So right from the dashboard, I can access a few different things. I also have access to her notes section. So let's say I had jotted down in here, going out of town, 2 weeks. I could now say to myself, okay, because this note is in here now, when I click on her notes, that will always be visible for me. If she came up for follow-up, I checked in her notes and I see that she went out of town, I could hit skip a week. This removes her from my list, but it's going to bring her right back around in 7 days. Without me having to set another follow-up or add to my calendar, I can just quickly resort my list. Brings up the next person. Okay, so here's Eric coming up for follow-up. I can check his connect section. I can check his activity. I can check his details to see, okay, I've got an email address, I have a phone number, and that's right, we're Facebook friends. That's why those tags are really beneficial, because you can see them right from the dashboard. And it's a great way to jog your memory. I tag people by product interest. So I do, I've got 21 Day Fix, I've got Core to Force, I've got Shakeology. However you want to use them, tags are a really great way to kind of identify people in the system and then pull up lists based on those tags, okay? So Eric and I are Facebook friends. I want to send him a Facebook message really quickly. What I could do here to pull up Eric's profile, because I added his social media link earlier, is I can click Facebook. This will automatically redirect me straight to Eric's profile, and I can hit message here. It's a personal preference. You don't have to go through the process, but if you've collected them, it's an easy way to get right to their page and get connected. Okay. But you know what? I don't even know what I want to say to Eric, which happens a lot with the, sometimes the lukewarm prospects. I could sit here and I can agonize over every word that I'm going to write to every lukewarm prospect, but the truth is that is not reproducible. I am not going to want to get up and do that again tomorrow. So what I will do, however, is lean into my system. If your system is TEAMZY, you will have access to scripts and dialogues, okay? So in the upper right-hand corner of every connect, you're going to have a script or a dialogue button. This is going to let me choose how I want to connect with this person. Do I want to send Eric a Facebook message, shoot him an email, send him a text? And you've got different scripts designed depending on how you want to connect. So let's say I want to send him a Facebook message. TEAMZY is going to arrange all of the suggested scripts for prospects that you would send through Facebook. Quick one-liners, great ways to just start the conversation. A lot of times I find that especially first, second, third, even fourth, connections are just me planting the seed. I'm working on them, and then little by little, that will start to take root. The conversation will evolve, and then that's where the personal aspect comes in, and I just take over the conversation. But this tool allows me to start 20, 30 conversations in an hour. Not all the conversations will take root, but if 10 of them do, I'll need to take that up. This gives you a place to start. We've outlined for you connect number 1, connect number 2, connect number 3, depending on where you are in the process with that person. But we all know that sometimes it's the follow-ups, right? It's after you've had them join you for a challenge group, or after you've already had that initial conversation discussing great products and everything, but they're thinking about it. And now it's the follow-ups after that can get uncomfortable. You feel like you're nagging or you're bothering people. Allow me to be the first one to tell you, you are not. Following up is an act of love. Following up is an act of love. You are showing up when you said you would. You are proving to them that they chose the right Beachbody coach to lead them down this journey, to guide them as they make decisions, as they have moments of doubt, as they're scared. You're going to be consistent and available. So consider that if you're struggling with making, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 follow-ups with one person, you may want to check out the scripts. It's a great way to just kind of get past that wall. Because the truth is that most sales close between the 7th and the 10th follow-up. After hearing that, I'm sure you've heard it before. How many of you think, how much money am I leaving on the table? That's what I used to think. It was like, oh man, I've been doing this wrong. I am the worst. It's not human nature to think that you're supposed to connect with people that many times. But the facts are you're not bothering, you're not self-imposing, you're simply showing up when you said you would. So choose your connect. You can do a quick copy and you can go ahead and what I would do, let's say I'm going to send connect number 3. I can do a quick copy at the bottom of that screen. Because I do a full copy and paste into TEAMZY, I do it here. I update the person's name. I would personalize that if I wanted to, how's the new house, new baby. Both of these things are factual for our CEO of TEAMZY. He just had a baby and he just bought a new house. So if I'm thinking I want to add a piece of information, how's the baby? I can go ahead and do that here. This lets me just see exactly what I'm sending. You don't have to do it this way. Some people feel like it's redundant or why am I, sending the message twice? This lets you know exactly what you sent. So let's say this is what I want to send to Eric. I'll do another copy. I keep my Facebook side by side, or I can click his link. I'll come over and I'll find Eric on the list. I'm going to, whoops, close that. I would send the message and I'll come back over to TEAMZY, whoops. And here I can select the drop down and indicate that it was a Facebook message that I sent. Now I can stipulate, okay, was this an invite? Am I calling him to action on anything? Nope. Hey Eric, I just saw you come across my Facebook feed, thought I'd say hello, how are you? I hope your day is going awesome. Okay, I don't have to indicate that's an invite. You know what, I'm great with the default follow-up, which for Eric, he's a 5-star. So 30 days from now, I'll connect with Eric again. I'll hit connect. That removes Eric from my dashboard. So now it moves another prospect up the list based on their priority. It's also going to communicate to my dashboard that I've connected with one of my prospects. And it lets me know how close or how far I am to meeting my goals every day. I would just keep moving along, okay? So I would basically, I've got 5 left. I'd come down to Laura. I could do the same thing. I've got access to her activity, to her details, to her notes, okay? Looks like it's the first connection for Laura and I would select a script. Or let's say Laura and I are chatting about, oops. We chat about upcoming challenge group. Okay, again, these areas can be as detailed or not as you'd like them to be. If you're not copying and pasting, just think of this as a note to you from you. So what information will I need to look at next time so I know where we left off, okay? So let's say that Laura and I are chatting about my upcoming challenge group. We're talking on the phone. So I'll indicate that that's a phone call, but she's got to run right now. I really want to follow up tomorrow with all the details for my challenge group. Let her know how pumped I am. She's going to be there. But Laura's a 4-star. So that means she's not coming up for 60 days from when I hit log connect. Don't grab your calendar. Don't reach for Post-its. Don't put it in your spreadsheet. Track your follow-ups right in TEAMZY. So you know that you're checking one area for follow-ups. For proactive connections, everything lives in one system. So with Laura, I'm indicating it's a phone call, but you know what? I'm inviting her to something. So I'm going to check mark that it's an invite. TEAMZY lets you get specific with the types of invites. I can indicate that it's a challenge group invite. You've got free group, business opportunity, try the shakes, or other. So if it's a challenge group, I'd indicate challenge group. Now, in the future, I can pull reports to see how many invites did I send for my challenge group this month. How many invites did I send for the upcoming event? These are really great accountability tools when you're working with a larger team. They can be things that you pull and kind of use to compare everybody's progress. So indicate what type of invite it was. Now, Laura needs to run again. I definitely want to follow up tomorrow, but if I hit log connect, she's not coming up for 60 days. In the upper right-hand corner of this follow-up, of this connect, I've got a follow-up section. It lets me know exactly when it's going to bring Laura up. Right now, it's going to bring her up based on her follow-up. But you know what, TEAMZY? No. I want you to bring Laura up tomorrow. So we give you a preset. You can go in there and say to TEAMZY, I need to follow up with this person on. I understand that you want to bring up the default, but I need to see this person the 30th, the 31st. I can come in and say, you know what, I want to follow up with them on Saturday. That now becomes their next follow-up. Once I hit log connect, it removes Laura from my dashboard. It updates that I've connected with yet another prospect, and it updates that I've tracked my invite. So all of that's happening in one fell swoop. Now, we just set a follow-up though. Jay, where do I check my follow-ups? How do I know where they are? Not to worry. Every day when you log in, you will have this list of prospects. So that's going to be where you go to call through your 4, your 6, your 3, whatever your number is for the day. Then you'll have your customer list, and then you'll have your coaches list. Those lists will work the same by priority. Then you're going to have your follow-ups list. This is going to arrange for you any of those custom follow-ups that you set for yourself. As you're getting familiar with the system, there will be notifications, okay? So you're thinking, well, Jay, I don't really remember how many I'm going to have tomorrow when I log in. How do I know to check that section? There will be a little notification that pops up that lets you know you've got 3 or you have 2 pending follow-ups so that you know to apply your focus there. And that's how simple it's going to be to track your follow-ups and know where to access them in the system. Now, let's say, you know what, I really want to invite Eric to that challenge group. So at the top of my screen, I've got a search bar. I can search by first or last name. the system will redirect me to the person's overall profile. I can, right in his section, come down to his follow-up line. Whoops. Come down to his follow-up line. And I can tell TEAMZY, okay, you know what? I know you're going to bring him up in 30 days, but instead, bring him up to me Saturday so I can invite him to my challenge group. I'll indicate here that he's coming up on Saturday. That now becomes his pending follow-up. I don't have to search for a save button. I don't have to click anywhere else on the screen. I can get back to what I was doing. If I were to check my follow-ups list, you'll notice Eric has been added. For any of you that as you get started, if you realize, well, Jay, I've definitely got more than 5 follow-ups for today, you can view your full follow-ups list by heading over to the team page. Pardon me. From the team page, you've got additional filters middle left. So I could say, see just my prospects or see just my customers. And then I can come down to follow-ups and I can view upcoming. This will give me a running list of all of my follow-ups pending to date. Now, beyond my follow-ups, I can also view by those tags. So if I wanted to see just my Facebook friends, I could do that. If I wanted to see only the folks that I tagged as May Challenge Group, it'll go ahead and arrange that list for me. These are really great for doing targeted campaigns, doing follow-ups after events, doing follow-ups after challenge groups. Honestly, the list goes on, but what's more awesome, I think, is that you can customize it depending on what you do as a coach, not what I do or what your team lead does. Everybody's a little different. So go ahead and use that tag feature, again, to create your refined lists. You can create and manage your follow-ups in the system, and you can utilize the scripts in the dialogue section to really get your power hour cranking. Now, this is the perfect place. I do have some additional features I want to go over with you, so we're going to jump back in. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the chat, see if you have specific questions or areas you want me to touch on. I am going to share my direct contact information for those of you that may have to jump off the call right now. You feel free to reach out to me if you need help along the way. Oh. Where did it go? Great. Bear with me. Okay, so we should now have my direct contact information on the screen. Okay, so feel free to grab a screenshot of that, or you can jot that down. I will put that back up at the end of the call. But feel free, as people are grabbing screenshots and getting that information, jump in the chat section to send over any questions you may have about the system. Thank you so much for being here, Lisa. I appreciate you, and I'm glad that you're getting something out of tonight's session. All right, guys, I'm going to pull that down, head back into TEAMZY, because if you guys don't want to ask any questions, I'm just going to keep talking. That's probably what's going to happen. Okay, so when we are back in TEAMZY, a couple more features for you to keep on your radar, okay? For really maximizing on your power hours. You guys saw me copy and paste my message over to Facebook. For now, you cannot send messages directly to Facebook, directly through Instagram, or any of those third-party sources. They have to go direct. If you wanted to send emails, however, if you are a Gmail subscriber, you can actually link your Gmail to TEAMZY, and then it'll let you send emails directly to folks. So you can send individual emails, or you can actually save templates. Like I save my invites for challenge groups. I save invites for events and things like that, so that I can go ahead and send those out really quickly to different people. So let me show you really quickly what that would look like in TEAMZY. So I've already linked this account to a Gmail. So if you haven't done your link, you're going to go to the upper right-hand corner to the wheel, and then you're going to come down to settings. From settings in the middle right, middle left, you've got billing. From this page, excuse me, I did that wrong. I meant integrations right under billing. When you click on integrations, it's going to give you your option to link to Gmail. If you haven't already done so, it'll be a big blue connect button. If you have, it'll say Gmail successfully connected. That's what you're looking for. It's a 3-step process if you haven't done it yet. It basically just wants to make sure you're logged into that Gmail account so it can do the appropriate link. Okay, so once you've got your Gmail linked, let's say I'm working from the dashboard, I'm getting into my power hour, I've got 4 more prospects, but you know what? I really want to invite Melanie to, I want to share with Melanie my 21-day fix email that I promised her last week. So I'm going to come down to Melanie. In this section, instead of typing in or copying and pasting my message, I can actually select type and go over to send email. with the word new by it. This, because I've already done the link, is going to bring up the body of an email, blank. I can go ahead and compose the email in real time. Or I can click Browse Scripts in the upper right-hand corner of that little box. And it's going to let me choose email script. Now I can see this 21-day fix is not pre-loaded. This is just one that I've used in the past as an example. So what I did is I copied and pasted the template of an email into our section here. And I included hyperlinks to see a video clip so that you can, here's a quick video about Shakeology. You can do hyperlinks if you need to in this system, but it allows you to just basically choose your email. I'll hit send as email. I'll update the person's name. Oops, spell it right. Scroll down, and you can hit send in blue. Just like that, you move on to the next person. It's going to track that in real time so that you can just move on. But you have the option to send emails. So if some of your people like to be connected with by email, then do that. But you also have the option to send directly through Gmail and to save your templates in the system. All right. In addition to sending emails through TEAMZY, as you're getting going, the truth is that many of us would like to do everything from our mobile devices. It makes everything easier, right? We live crazy busy lives. I'd love to be able to do things when I'm running errands like a crazy person, or, coming to or from somewhere. So we don't necessarily have an app yet. So you don't have to go to the App Store, but you can, however, have access to our mobile site, which will let you use TEAMZY from your mobile device. So you're gonna open up your browser of choice. If you're on an Android, it's probably Chrome. If you're on an iPhone like me, it's gonna be Safari or whatever your choice is. I want you to type in what you see on my screen now, app.teamzy.com. So the word app.teamzy.com. Once you've got that in, you're gonna go ahead and log into your TEAMZY account and then save your login credentials, okay? So you don't have to log in every time. Then what I did is I actually added it to here. Okay, I'm gonna stop this so you can see. All right, so this is actually my TEAMZY app here. So what I did is I saved it to my home screen so that I can quickly just tap on this. Oh geez, my desert 4G is just not gonna work out right now, but it's gonna do its best to load that with my connection. So what it's doing is it's actually going to load my dashboard. So there's my dashboard. It lets me know how many people I've connected with so far in each group. It's going to give me my list of people that I need to connect with next. So if I wanted to connect with customers, I could tap on customers. It'll give me that list, okay? What's really cool is I can actually open this up and send a message when I'm in the drop-off line in the morning. Or if I'm, crouched in the pantry trying to get dinner made, I can send off an email or respond to someone or add someone to my database. For me, in the beginning, my power hours didn't manifest themselves in a solid hour. I had 15 minutes here, 10 minutes there. Capitalize or maximize on the time that you have when you have it. Everyone's in a different place. So use the mobile site if you need to. All right, let's get back into TEAMZY. Let me take a look and see if we have any questions in the chat. Like I said, if anything comes to mind, jump in there, okay? A couple more things that I want to point out for you. As you're connecting with people, you're gonna sell them things and you're gonna convert them into coaches. It's fantastic. So you're gonna want to track that progress as well. Let's say I'm working with Melanie. I could click on Melanie's name. It's a hyperlink, so it's gonna bring me to her profile. The same way that searching for her first or last name brought me to her profile, okay? So from here, oops, excuse me. So from here, I'm gonna scroll down to her overall profile. It's gonna allow me to log a connection. Did I reach out to Melanie? Or I can click Sale. Sale is gonna give me a few different options. This is very basic for now, but it's gonna let you track if you sold a challenge pack, if you sold a Shake Home Direct, or anything other than that. So I'd come in and I'd say, you know what, I sold a Shake Home Direct. Once I save that, it adds an item, a line item to her activity feed, so that I'll always be able to look and see, oh, okay, we connected 3 or 4 times before she bought Shakeology. Or, you know what, she's purchased Shakeology, and then 3 months down the road, she decided to get active and bought the challenge pack. Whatever the case is, this is gonna give you that, that active history record. Okay, so that's how we're tracking our sales. But we started all of this by setting an income goal, right? So it's going to be important that we track against that income goal. So we know at any time how close or how far we are to meeting that goal. To track your income, you're going to head over to the business tab on the left-hand side. All right, your business tab is really great. It's got a few different statistics. I'm terrible with that word. So in your business statistics, we've got your income. So you've got a glance, okay, of what my income goal is for the 12 months, $100,000. And then in this wheel, I can see how much income I've actually tracked. So it looks like I've tracked about 19,000 toward my overall goal. This is really great because, again, you can, if it's 4 months into the year, 3 months into the year, check this and know, okay, I need to really kick it into gear, or I need to light that fire, that kind of thing. Now, when you're ready to add income to this, you can hit the plus symbol here, or in the upper right-hand corner, you've got add income. Either of which are going to give you access to an itemized income report that you can add to by date range. So if you're someone who wants to add quarterly, you can do it. If you want to add weekly, if you wanted to add monthly, you would just come in here and basically add that information. How much you made, and then, between what dates. This income report can be pulled so that you can use this as another one of those accountability tools if you're working with a team, a success partner, anything like that. Okay. We've got an income, we've got a way to track our income. And then we've got total number of customers, total number of personally sponsored coaches. If we come down far enough, we're gonna have a growth report broken down. Okay, how much have you grown each of these categories, your customers versus your coaches? You come down further, you've got your activities report. So this is gonna list for you how many activities you're committing to your prospect pool versus your customer pool. Coming down even further, and we've got your ratios broken down. How many connects does it take to generate a sale? How many sales to convert someone to coach status? And then ultimately, how many connections have you made in general? Okay. Very last thing that I want to mention on this business page is your activity report. This activity report can be filtered. So if I wanted to see, I want to see just the invites that I sent for challenge groups today. I can go ahead and apply that filter, and then I can export this. For my guys and gals who are a little more pen and paper, if you're thinking, oh, I wish I had something to check off, you can actually pull a list of the activities you've done for today, and you can see it, hard copy if you wanted to, go over that with your team or with your accountability partner, yourself, you'll have the option to do so. Okay, that's how you're gonna access your activity report in TEAMZY. Last couple things I wanna mention, and then I'll take a look at the chat, and that'll be it. All right. Last two things I want to mention. As you're getting familiar with the system, getting comfortable, settling in, TEAMZY is a product that is constantly evolving, guys. We're a really, really close-knit, small team. We're building this based on your needs as a Beachbody coach. It all started with Beachbody. We have been very, very, very blessed to expand into some other networks, but it started with you guys. So know that we're still looking for that feedback for sort of what you're liking, loving, what you wish you saw less of, more of. So please, if there's anything you'd like to share with the team, utilize your feedback tool in the upper right-hand corner of your TEAMZY. This is going to give you a direct line, okay, more than likely to me. I field most of this stuff, so I'd be glad to be your champion in the development team meetings where I just kind of give my guys perspective of why you need what you need. Okay, so please feel free to share your feedback with me. I'd love to hear from you. The same goes if you need help. If you get off the call tonight and you're thinking, I don't remember her name, let alone phone number. It's okay. You've got a help button built right in the lower right-hand corner of your TEAMZY. You can click on that and it'll give you a direct line to me again. We've got a couple other live support reps, okay? So you're talking to a real person who you can always, reach out to for help using a certain feature, or if you just need best practice advice or anything like that, we're always here to help. Okay, once you've, so know that you've got your feedback and your help tool. If you're more of a DIY kind of person and you want a tutorial, FAQs, your university section on the left is going to be really, really great for you. So if you click on university, it's going to let you choose FAQs by your network. So you'll head over to Beachbody, and this will let you choose from tutorials, webinars, FAQs, like I mentioned. So check out those tools for help, for DIY tutorials, things like that. And then if all else fails, if you feel like you need some assistance, you feel free to reach out to me directly. I am going to put up my contact information again, and I'm going to glance over at the chat. You guys feel free to jump in there if you have any other questions. Otherwise, that's it for me. I really, really appreciate your time tonight, and please enjoy TEAMZY. If you have any questions, reach out. Okay, so I have a couple of questions here. Okay, so how long does it take to upload